Hello and welcome to Mazal. If you're here listening, you're in the Mazal class, type 1. For the sake of being alive and well and happy in 2017, 5777. Okay. Now remember, we were talking about Mazal Alien, type 1. We were talking about Mazal Alien, type 1. And I got stuck because I saw that we had something called Schus and Chova. Justin Becker, do you remember that? There's two modes of Mazal. Mazal Elyon and Mazal Tachten. High and low Mazal. High Mazal you can't change. Lower Mazal comes from Schus and Chova. Merit and guilt, or merit and penalty. Type 1. Type 1. Type 1. Type 1. Is that a 1? Yeah. And we saw that there were Iker terms. And we kind of got them. But I went and I looked up these words. And I printed out a whole bunch of papers. Now, this is going back before Passover, because we've had a little vacation, type 1. And I'm not going to read you all the things that I printed out. I printed out a lot because we got the superconscious position. And I'm going to generalize for you. Ready? And scan. The concept, this concept in vernacular is taken from perhaps the world's biggest master of Mazal that ever lived. Do you know who that is? The world's greatest master of Mazal who ever lived? 1, 2, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2. Hello, hello. Justin, John, Justin. The Ramchal. You know, every tzaddik has their thing, right? Type 1. Everyone's got their thing. Rabbi Nachman's got Umin and Rosh Hashanah, right? Chavetz Chaim's got Lashon Hara. Everyone's got their thing, right? So the Ramchal's thing, what he got the most, more than anyone, is divine providence, hashgacha pratis, and Mazal. So the whole, David Katz's soul Mazal message is just kind of a regurgitation from the Ramchal. The Ramchal, that was what he really got, right? The Arizal had the Tree of Life. Rabbi Shimon had the Zohar. Everyone's got their thing. And the Ramchal understands God, providence, and Mazal. Type 1. So the language is actually taken from commentaries, or I don't know if it's the Gemara itself, but the subject of Rosh Hashanah and the Shefa that comes down on Rosh Hashanah. So the Ramchal didn't invent the language, but he was fluent in Mazal language. And being a semi-Mazal expert myself, and I stress the word semi, there is a vernacular to the Mazal world. I think I've shown you at least a little bit of that, type 1. And the Ramchal was the master of that language, and he brought down some of the core ideas. And I say ideas, we're talking big stuff here, like the repair of the world, which we've seen that consistently true as well. So, Schus and Chova. The world operates under two mechanisms. Type 1, if you understand literally what I just said. The world operates under two mechanisms. And it's either Mazal Elyon or Mazal Tachten. High Mazal, low Mazal. High Mazal, you don't change that. It just happens to you. And Justin Becker, this is up your alley. High Mazal doesn't care what you think. Type 1. High Mazal, upper Mazal doesn't care what you think. Type 1. Upper, higher Mazal, you could be doing things that are not so good. But for the sake of repairing the world, God will do what God will do. And you may get something good or bad because God needs it for creation. So, Justin, you did a lot of bad things last week with Pshuto type 1. Justin did a lot of bad stuff last week with Fib Shuto type 1 Justin. And if you personally and the world needed lower Mazal type 1 Justin, then God would say, lower Mazal Justin. Justin did bad. We're going to punish Justin. Justin yelled at his boss, and his boss gave him a write-up. Justin type 1, because that happened to you. Then Justin learned, wow, if I do bad, I get in trouble. If I do good, I get a pat on the back by God. Type 1, Justin. And that's called lower Mazal, and you can change your Mazal. Stop doing bad stuff. Right? Shape up or ship out. But there's something called higher Mazal. And last week, Justin, when you were doing bad stuff, and you should have been punished, type 1, God said to you, Justin, listen, you really shouldn't have done the things that you did, and under normal circumstances, Justin, I would be punishing you. But we got to save the world, me and you. Type 1, Justin. God says, Justin, it comes down to me and you. We're saving the world. I'm sending you into combat because only you can do it. It's just your number came up. I really don't like you right now because you upset me. But I need a Justin Becker program to go yank the spark out of the Sitra Achra, Justin, and I'm going to give you $1 million to do it because that's how much the door admission costs. What do you think about that? It just, that's how it came out, man. You know? So you don't need to worry about it. It's not like coming out of your bank account spiritually. But you can't think you earned it either. It just came from God. And then God took it away from you again, and now you're a pauper, Justin, type 1. And you say, God, what did I do? I'm not that bad. God says, well, Justin, we had to go and do another combat mission, and it had to be a poor guy, and the poorest guy I know is Justin Becker. But I had to take away your $1 million to make you super duper poor. So I'm sorry about that, Justin. And the Mazal's over now. And, you had it, and you did it, and we took it, and you did it. Justin, you saved the world. You advanced us closer to Mashiach. You're a covert super agent. And I'm sorry it had to be that way. But go back and live your life now. Mazel Tachtun is here, Justin. And you better shape up, because I'm still mad at you for what you did. But it didn't come out of your Mazel bank account. And you shape up, type 1, Justin. And God starts blessing you a little bit, People are smiling on you. And you go back to your schus and chova. Does everybody see now the analogy? Schus and chova, punishment and merit, change your mazel, lower mazel, higher mazel, can't change your mazel. God needs you to save the world. So obviously, if you're going to be saving the world with God, then you have to be able to recognize higher mazel, which means that you have an understanding of mazel. You've come out of klippa enough that you have your identity, you have your mazel. That's what ger represents, right? Being available for God, right? And that's why we say that, like, Israel is above mazel for Abraham, right? But then you say what it really means is, can you change your mazel? And the ger, by being available for God, has changed it on a certain level. And then you just oscillate your whole life based on lower mazel, upper mazel. Am I in reward punishment phase? Am I in mazel phase? And God created the world this way so you'll never know what God's doing unless you meditate in the present moment. You'll never really know. So, Justin, if I gave you $1 million, you don't know if you really earned it. And like, wow, Rabbi Katz is a really nice guy. I must have done a really good thing for him. Because God appointed Rabbi Katz to be the messenger to give me my $1 million. Or, Justin, am I a messenger of God's mazel, and you're still a nasty kind of guy, but God decided you need that $1 million in order to save the world. That's kind of a message with your mind, doesn't it? So when you get blessings and you get curses, exactly, you never know. Right? You never know if you're that bad. You don't know if you're that good. You don't know if it's mazel. You don't know if you can change it, if you should leave it. And that's why you meditate. And that's why you learn the language and vernacular of Mazal so that you can connect to God and know what's going on. The good news, as reported by the Ramchal, when you go by Mazal, it gives you a revelation of God's unity. So the worst case scenario, Justin, is we don't care about you at all. We're just giving you stuff for the sake of the world, which sounds good, but it's scary because you don't know, you can't keep up at that point. So the advantage to that is God gives you a revelation so that you can know later on. And then when you shift in a reward punishment phase or mode, then you know, okay, I was being a jerk and I deserve the broken nose. And when you're being good and you're blessed, you're like, yeah, I'm doing good, I'm blessed, it's all good. So those are the two modes of Mazal, of divine providence. And we found our Iker terms. They were, in fact, Iker terms. We're not making stuff up over here, thank God. And the Ramchal is our guy, thank God. And we now left off. Let's read just a little drop more and see what kind of damage we can do. All right, Mazal Elian, Banim, Chaim, Vemazoides. Upper Mazal Elian. That's where the famous trio of Mazal comes from. Legacy or sons, offspring, children, Banim, Chaim, which is your life, and Mazoides, your sustenance, and Shefa, type 1. That's all your upper Mazal. So Justin Becker. Here we go. Here's a quiz for Justin. Justin, we're doing a quiz. Type 1. Hurry up. We're doing a quiz. Ready? John, you can play along too. Let's go. Let's go. Ready? I'm going to, Justin, if you behave, God will give you children. True or false? Justin, if you behave, God will give you children. True or false? Let's go. John, Justin, let's go. False, and that's right. Why? Because it's upper Mazal, and you don't control that. God says, hey, Justin, I'm giving you a kid. How do you like me now? Type 1. Okay. Justin, you're a good person. Type 1, everybody, because Justin's a great person. Justin's a great person. And Justin just happens to have a great life. Justin, is that a true statement? Can we attribute your great life with you being a great person? And John? Hello, John? No, because life is upper Mazal. God just gives you a good life or he doesn't. Justin, you have got the best shefa out of anyone I know, and you work hard, Justin Becker. You work hard for your money. You are a hard-working guy. Is that true? Is that a true association? True or false? Well, the answer is false, because God just gives you what God gives you. If you think you need to work hard, that is your business between you and God. But you did not get a lot of shefa because you worked hard. You got a lot of shefa because God gave you a lot of shefa. Type 1. Now, can we do effort? Can I build my vessel to receive children by reward and punishment? Yeah. You can. If you're not going to make yourself a vessel, God would have a harder time getting it to you, which is not a problem for God. Okay, but do you want it for you personally? Do you want it the hard way or the easy way? Because I'm giving you 3 kids, Justin. I'm God. I'm giving you 3 kids. Type 1. You want it the hard way with the idolatrous woman, or do you want it the easy way? Which one, Justin? You'll say the easy way. Now, you may want the easy way, and God still can choose to give it to you the hard way. It's Mazal Elian. B'sefer Dvash lefiks ad Mazal Elian b'nei chayei v'zaynei v'Mazal Tolin u'mekabling kasru akdama b'zever v'zeseya v'rosh David Parshas Toida. Okay. He's just reiterating that fact. And we are at the bottom of the page, and we're going to make our little mark, and we're going to wish you guys and a nice evening as we sign off. And we'll see you next week for Mazal and Mishlei. And God willing, I endeavor to give the new gear, Discover Torn gear class tomorrow. I hope so. If I'm running late, I do apologize. As we are building the website, it'll be up, God willing, May 8th, God willing. Pre-registration is going on this week and next. So that's all, folks. Enjoy. If I have to see you next week, see you next week. If I see you tomorrow, see you tomorrow. First day was absolutely awesome, Justin Becker. It was worth it.